Why won't my fingers and hands do what I tell them to do? Why do they get stuck? This was a specific question from a subscriber, but it's such a common issue that I had to make a video on this as soon as I could. Now, most of my extra time right now is spent on creating the Faber Book 1 follow along calendar, which you can check out on Patreon, but I just had to make time for this video. I probably don't have to tell you that this can be incredibly frustrating, especially when we're doing everything like we think we should. We're putting in the practice time. We're doing the work. So how best to answer this question? Well, there are many hand independence exercises out there. I think I probably did a video on that at some point. And those can be helpful, but they don't really get to the actual issue. And I believe that this is actually a practice issue. We can't all be amazing concert level pianists, but if we learn the principles of good practice and how to really dissect a piece that we're trying to learn and learn how to use our bodies in ways that help us rather than hurt us, we can get quite far. So I guess my answer to this question of why won't my fingers and hands cooperate even when I practice is a two-parter. First, I want you to take a good, hard look at the way you're practicing. If you're simply trying to go from the beginning of a piece to the end every single time you practice, that's the equivalent of a sports team only scrimmaging. No drills, no conditioning, no strategy, just playing it over and over again. If this sounds like you when you practice, you are not training your fingers and hands. These are free-range hands. They're just doing whatever they want. You're not training them. You've got to utilize effective practice tools and break down the piece into small sections, even as small as 2 notes at a time, so you can begin to be in control of your fingers. So to help all of you that are struggling with this, and I struggle with this, I'm going to start a series that takes the beginning section of For Elise and we'll dissect it, we'll practice it, we'll learn together and find ways to get over the hurdle of, the hand finger problem. And even if you've already learned For Elise or you're just not interested in playing it, you will still benefit from this because I'm going to give you a lot of tools to put in your practice toolkit, and you'll be able to easily apply these to whatever piece you're learning. The second answer I have for you is to, if at all possible, invest in a piano teacher. It doesn't have to be every week, and it could just be finding someone who is willing to meet with you once or twice. And these couple of meetings could really help you troubleshoot what's going on and give you effective, tangible ways to improve. Because again, we can do hand independence exercises and scales all day long, but that doesn't necessarily help us fix the problem. Don't be afraid to ask your potential teacher questions and make sure they know what you want out of the piano lessons. To sum up, first, analyze your practice. Are you drilling things? Are you finding creative ways to get better? Are you practicing in small sections? Are you being a problem solver? Or are you simply playing through the pieces from beginning to end every single time and then letting your frustration take over? The second thing, think about finding a piano teacher who can help you. Stay tuned for part 2 of this video where we'll begin to break down For Elise, start practicing it together, find new ways to practice our pieces, and learn how to properly train our hands and fingers. And hopefully we'll begin to master our control so we can learn the pieces that we want to learn. And if you want to get a head start on learning better practice techniques, head on over to my playlist Map to Better Practicing.